Welcome back, listeners. I'm Robin Black, and this is It's All About Healing podcast. Today we have a special guest, Miss Jenna Lee. I absolutely love her, and I cannot wait for you guys to meet her. We're going to discuss generational trauma. So, Jenna, how are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
I am doing well. Very excited to hear your story and to talk with you today. So, tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do.
Okay, so I have to start with my healing journey. So my spiritual awakening happened actually in high school, and it happened when I was reading the Quran, and I read the word truth in there, and that word just really struck me. And from there, I kind of went on a journey of like, what is the truth?
Mhm.
And so I studied like Islamic philosophy and then Sufism and then meditation, shamanism. And now, after having come back to the US from South Korea, I am now a spiritual life coach. Yeah. And
Interesting. Wow. So, what did you study about shamanism? What exactly did that consist of?
uh-huh. So there are different types of shamanism, just to be clear. So there's
Uh,
this one kind that's shown in the Korean dramas of like, you know, wearing these white robes and then having knives and like getting a pig's head and like, blood and I don't know. Right. So that's not the shamanism that I was doing.
okay.
Although, there is a philosophy behind that and why that works. Um,
hmm
but the one that I was doing was we would have a big table, like a low table, not a high table like that we think of as tables in the US, but
Uh-huh.
like the tables are closer to the ground because people sit on the floor to eat. Um,
hmm
and these big tables would be filled with food, and the food would kind of be cut open, and it would be like so the spirits can eat the food or like
hmm
imbibe the food. And then we would do mantras and prayers for spirits that are suffering
Yeah.
within our family line. So
hmm
like in my family, if there are any spirits that passed in a negative way, like not naturally,
Right.
not peacefully, then we would pray for those spirits to go to a better place. And
Oh, okay. Wow. Interesting. That's very interesting.
yeah, it is.
What did you do that started you in this healing coaching as well? What did you do?
Mhm. Yeah, so honestly, when I was younger, my family was very emotionally dysfunctional.
hmm
So I think my parents were, financially stable, but there was a lot of, trauma in the family, like in my dad's side and then my mom's side. And, it all came to a head for me.
Yeah.
So that was partly what I went through in my journey is like healing my own trauma.
Yeah.
And the way I did that was going very, very deep
hmm
into my subconscious
Yes.
through meditation. And then that's how I also got into shamanism because that was kind of something that I could hang on to because meditation on its own can sometimes be like too broad. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I know exactly what you mean. Yeah.
Right, right. So like something like a mantra or like some
Mhm.
kind of ritual or ceremony to do really helped to like keep me grounded as I'm going subconscious and working through those issues.
Yeah. And then how were your beliefs formed in your childhood?
Mhm. Oh wow, that's a really good question. Oh my gosh.
Mhm.
I mean, okay. So I think I had this block against love.
Mhm.
Definitely, that was something formed in childhood because I would see my parents fighting and I'd be like, nah, that's not going to happen to me.
Right.
So I
Right.
just blocked out love entirely, like
Mhm.
going the opposite direction of my mom. So I just became hyper independent and hyper like I have to be strong and I'm just going to do it on my own.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah. But that definitely mellowed out, especially towards the end of like my shamanism journey.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, that you said that mellowed out.
Yes. Uh-huh.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good. So you're open now. Your
Yes,
heart chakra is open.
exactly.
Good.
Uh-huh.
And I know you said in one of your topics, it said you were brought in from past lives or how parents and school organizations like tell us a little bit about what you mean by that.
Uh-huh. Okay. So I believe, so in Buddhism, there's this concept of the alaya consciousness.
Hmm.
And this is what's known as the self in other places. But the alaya is like the root consciousness of each person. And it's like what I think I am.
Hmm.
And so that is like made up of beliefs that we're forming in childhood, but also possibly beliefs that were formed in past lives.
Yes. Hmm.
Yeah. So, I mean, past lives are, whether you believe them or not, there is some evidence for that your mind is actually thinking in so actually here's what I heard. Some people who don't believe in past lives say that actually it's a parallel life, that
Hmm.
in our mind we think we are living like this. Like, for example, in our mind, I think that I was drowned in one life.
Hmm.
Like, that's something that my mind made up, maybe,
Hmm.
if we don't believe in past lives. And that's something that's simultaneously happening in our life right now. So it's like a parallel timeline that our mind has created
Yeah.
for some reason. Yeah.
But what do you mean by like how you feel that now? If you feel that you drowned in a past life, how is that coming to this present life? How do you feel that way now?
So, for example, if I'm really afraid of water,
Oh, okay.
yeah,
Hmm.
and for some reason in my mind, when I go back or do a past life regression, I think like, oh, like I was drowned in a past life.
Hmm.
So, what some people say is that may or may not be a past life. That may actually be a parallel life that your mind has created to
Hmm.
explain your fear of water.
Wow, I never thought about it that way.
Yeah.
So it makes you look at phobias kind of differently in a sense. But that's so amazing that you said that about past lives because, in a sense, what I feel like anyone who, suffers from dementia or Alzheimer's, and they lose their mind, I feel that they've endured a lot of trauma in their life. So that's why, they just kind of take that memory away. But
Mhm.
also, I feel when people say that they're old souls, or it's like you've been here before when they're talking to children, it's
Mhm.
like they pass through or come back and their soul's now in this body. I kind of feel like it like cycles somehow, some way. And
Uh-huh.
that's where we get the term old souls from. You know what I mean? Like, does that make sense?
Yeah,
I
yeah. Yeah,
don't know.
definitely. I am more of the side of past lives are real,
Uh-huh.
but
Yeah.
like we can't know for sure looking into
Right.
our own consciousness that the past life we think we had is real. That's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. Yeah.
Yeah. I get it. I definitely do. I do. I do believe it too. I think so as well. But man, that's amazing. So as far as the coaching that you do, is that more geared towards women?
Yeah, I prefer to work with women just because,
Mhm.
women empowerment is like a big thing. And like, I really believe like women have so much to offer the world because partly because they've been kind of kept down in society for so long,
Yeah.
you know, due to the
Yeah.
structure and everything. But yeah, just, yeah, I'm really passionate about women's empowerment.
I like that. I like that a lot. And what advice would you give to women out there right now just dealing with the adversity and the traumas that they're going through?
Mhm. Um, I think I would say that you're not alone, that lots of people deal with that. And I think the problem in the West or in the US is like people don't talk about it,
Yeah.
and people put on this bright, happy face of like, this is how I have to show up in the world. And that's why we feel so isolated and alone and misunderstood. But
Hmm.
like, just know that you're not alone, and, to hold more compassion and hold more space for yourself as you're going through those things.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. And what adversities have you faced just in business alone?
I mean, okay. So, you
Where do
know,
you
right. I mean, starting a small business on my own is like a different ball game from
Yeah.
like going to a job or even doing freelance.
Hmm.
Because even with freelance, there's like either an agency that you can work with, or like you're using all these other sites, you're pitching to people, but self-employed, it's a different game.
Yes, yes, it is.
Yes. Yeah.
Very difficult, right? And that was so funny. I'm sorry, but when you brought up the other day when you were sharing with me that website that will help us out, and you
Mm.
said, "I'm not sure how much help it will be because it hasn't helped you yet." That just it was funny, but it made my day because I didn't feel alone. Because a lot of times it's hard to share our struggles because we feel like we are alone, like it's just me. So when I met you yesterday, it was like a breath of fresh air because I was like, I'm not alone. I'm not in this boat alone. Finally, someone else.
Yeah, yes. Seriously, like we should really support each other.
Hmm.
Okay, in the US, I feel like people don't support each other when they're down.
Yeah,
Like this is a thing. Like this
yeah,
needs to change. This is like a huge
absolutely.
societal problem.
It is. I
Yeah.
agree 100%. Yes,
Uh-huh. And
definitely.
yeah, and having lived in South Korea for like 5, 6 years, it doesn't happen in South Korea. Like,
Wow.
yeah, people just, if you know someone, you're not going to just leave them high and dry when they're having a hard time. Like that just doesn't happen.
Right.
But in the US, this is a huge problem.
Yes, it is. And it's like more people need to start collaborating and coming together, especially like you said for women, because like here it is just women are out to just like destroy each other. And it's just like, geez, like what is the deal with that? Like it's okay to just be like, hey, how are you today? Because no one really, if you ask that, it's so universal to just say how are you and not listen to the answer. But
Right.
it's just like they're so angry and there's so much hostility, and it's just like, why do you have to be like that? Like,
Yeah.
why is everyone so angry?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's okay to just be like, you know what, I'm not having a good day today. And I think that more women need to come together and have these groups, even if it's a side group, that just a support group that meets once or twice a week or a month or whatever. And it just, this is our place. This is our place where we come to vent, you know, and have restrictions because they can't. Sometimes I know it can get a little bit out of hand, but I think that that's something that people need to move more towards, doing more of that and helping people and helping others not feel alone.
Mhm. Yeah, that's so beautiful. Yes, yes.
Yeah,
More support for others
absolutely,
and for
absolutely.
ourselves. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we need to have like a group that's just for coaches, coaches who need help. Because I would definitely be coming to you asking you several questions.
I mean, we all need help sometimes. And actually, I have a reciprocal coaching relationship. So
Uh-huh.
every Monday we meet, and like she coaches me 30 minutes, I coach her 30 minutes, and it's like so
Oh
nice.
wow, that
Yeah.
makes a lot of sense. That
Yeah.
sounds interesting. Huh, interesting.
Maybe
And
we
then you
should do
also,
that.
you say what?
Maybe we should do that too.
Yes, absolutely. I agree. We definitely should. If I can high five you right now, I definitely
Yes.
high five you. I am definitely like 100% on board with that. We will discuss that afterwards.
Yeah.
But also here you said how to decondition our minds. How is that? What are your suggestions there?
Hmm. Okay, so this is gonna sound like conspiracy theory type
Uh-huh.
stuff, but like society has seriously conditioned our minds. And like I think this is why some places say like you should travel, you should live in another country for a while because like when you live there, you see that the rules are totally different. And
Yes.
like the rules that I thought were just like normal, they're
Mhm.
not normal. They're just like,
Right.
yeah, it's like there's a US culture and then there's like a Korean culture. And I'm sure like every other place has their own.
Yeah.
So, like, you know, how to decondition our minds is like maybe travel, maybe hang out with people who are different from you and
Mhm.
who don't just like exist in the same echo chamber.
Yes, I
Right?
agree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Be more open-minded, I think, and
Yeah.
like be open to being challenged also.
Absolutely. That way it eliminates complacency because when there's no challenge, that's what you're going to do. You're going to fall into that routine.
Right. Yeah.
Man, that is so interesting. You are just so interesting. You're very intriguing.
Oh, so are you. Oh my gosh, I love your vibes. Like seriously, every time I talk to you, I'm just like so up.
I know, exactly. That's how I am. I'm just like, there's just so much, so many questions that I want to ask. I love your energy. I love your personality. You are
I love you too. Like I love
amazing.
everything about you,
Thank
honestly.
you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you. What other traumas have you experienced that you know what I mean, like
Mhm.
helped yourself out? You had to be your own hero. Like what is that like for you mentally?
Yeah, yeah. So I was like seriously emotionally dysregulated.
Hmm.
So I'm not sure I had BPD, but it was getting there, like
Hmm.
BPD is like borderline. So it's not bipolar, but it's like when my emotional state fluctuates like extremely. So
Yeah.
for example, one day I'm like, everything's great. And then another day I'm like, oh, everything's terrible. So
I think that's most women.
well, okay. That's so funny. Yeah.
I'm just kidding. Go ahead.
Yeah, so this I realized was because of some subconscious thoughts that I had. So I use this app called Youper.
Hmm.
The app actually used to be much better than it is now. So Youper became very like commercialized now, but
Hmm.
before it used to be you can get in there and just vent.
Hmm.
And then they would say, "Can you notice any thought traps in what you're saying?" So, like,
Hmm.
for example, all or nothing thinking, or like a negative lens, or
Yeah.
like they had a bunch of stuff. And then I would like click, oh, I'm like all of them.
Yeah.
Like, oh, yeah, I'm just saying like everything's terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then they would ask, do you want to try to reframe your thought? And I'd be like, oh, this is interesting. Like, so my original thought was like, this happened, everything's bad. And then
Hmm.
I would reframe it to like, this negative thing happened, but it's just one event. And today I can change my mood, and tomorrow's a new day. So,
Right.
like, that second thought is going to cause me to be much less emotionally dysregulated than the first one.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, and so I kept doing that. Every time I felt bad, I would just go in, vent, and then they would, check the thought traps, reframe, like over and over again until I kind of stabilized. And I was like,
Wow. So do you still use that app or
I don't need it anymore, actually.
what? That's amazing. That's great. That's a great accomplishment.
Yes.
Right? Because I remember I had that all or nothing thought process as well, where it's just like,
Mhm.
your world is ending. Like no matter the smallest thing, it's just like my life would be over.
Right. Yeah, yeah.
Just
And
drama, like so dramatic. But
yeah.
but that takes a lot of healing because it's like some people we may jokingly, speak about it, of course, but to make light of it. But it is a lot of what we do, and it's so hard to kind of move away from always feeling like we're in our feelings, right? It's
Yeah.
like that's what I think a lot of the problem is we always are in our feelings, and we're always projecting what we feel because we're in this false reality a lot of times because we internalize so many thoughts.
Mhm.
But we project that onto others. We project that outward when these people aren't even really thinking any of that. It is just like, how do we get out of our own heads?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and oh my God, when you said that, I just
Mhm.
remembered so many of my thoughts that caused me this, like, state was like, "They just judged me," or like but, like, when I reframed it, I was like, "Is this true? Like, how do I know this is true? Like, what's the evidence for this?"
Is this true? Oh my goodness. And then, so, because we all have really bad days. So when you're having a bad day, what do you do? Like when you're just having one of those days now?
Okay, yeah. So, sometimes what I will try to do, I found hypnotherapy,
Hmm.
and I try to find a YouTube video that's like hypnotherapy for releasing anxiety or something.
Yeah.
And it's something that's like immediate. Like
Okay.
I'll just do it and like so they have you like look up or something
Mhm.
because apparently when you look up that like helps you become hypnotized. I don't know.
I don't know either.
Yeah. So, so then that on YouTube or there's like an app. Uh,
Mhm.
I forgot what it's called. Let me just check really quick. Like it's
Yeah, because
called
I'm definitely going to want to have to look that up and
yeah,
see.
Reverie. It's called Reverie.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's like a self-hypnosis app, and it's really helpful for when I'm in like a negative state and just quickly bring me out of it.
And it's called Reverie, like Revery.
Reveri, but if
R
you
I.
yeah, if you search the other one, it'll still show up.
Okay. And so what does that consist of besides just looking up? Like, because I know someone that I spoke with recently said tapping. Is that involved in there as well?
Oh, yeah, tapping's another good one, but it's different. It's like hypnotherapy is like they guide you through like a meditative hypnosis.
Okay.
And they say like you need to look up first and then close your eyes and you imagine that you're going down some stairs and you're going deeper and deeper and deeper into yourself, and
Right.
then they give you suggestions that are like the opposite of what you're feeling. So
Yeah.
you're feeling anxious, they'll suggest like I'm feeling good, I'm feeling peaceful, and these anxious thoughts don't define me or something like that. And then it's just like using, I think, the brain's neuroplasticity to like immediately bring it out of that anxious state.
Okay. Okay. Because I was wondering what it was used for. I
Uh-huh.
never knew. I never understood it. I was just like, what is the point in that? Like, it's kind
Yeah,
of
me
like with
too.
acupuncture. Like, like, what do you get from that? Do you know what you get from acupuncture? What does that do?
Oh, okay. So I feel energy really, really sensitively. So like
Uh-huh.
acupuncture, I definitely feel it does something. Like it moves the chi in the body, I feel like.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But if you don't change the thoughts or beliefs that are there, it's just you're gonna have to go again and again and again.
Right.
That's the
Right.
problem with all these energy things. It's like
Yeah.
temporary.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
It's kind of like Reiki. I love it. I love going to get a Reiki session done. Like it's that energy I love it. And it does. And I never understood acupuncture. I never understood hypnotherapy because I've never done it. I've never experienced it.
Yeah.
But so is it painful when you do acupuncture or because
Yes,
it looks
and
like
I
it?
don't like to do it.
So it
It's
is. You can
painful.
feel it. What? You can actually feel it.
Okay, if you go to a good place, they will make it so it's not painful. But if you get, sometimes it still hurts.
Yeah. What? Oh my gosh, that just seems so painful. Like, what? I don't get it.
Yeah.
I do not get it. Oh my goodness. I'm gonna be like on YouTube looking it up now tonight.
Oh no, don't do no. I hate seeing those things. Oh
I'm definitely gonna have to look it up and be like, okay, I gotta try to figure this out because I want to try it. I think. I don't know.
my god. Okay.
I don't know.
Okay. Try it. Try it. Like
I don't know. It
go,
seems
go, go.
like, but so acupuncture is supposed to help with energy.
Yeah. With
Okay.
blocked energy, especially.
Oh, that makes sense. That
Yeah.
makes a lot of sense.
Mhm.
Okay. Interesting. Okay. Wow. So it's been like lovely. I love hearing everything that you talk about, everything that you know. You're just a book of knowledge. So there's so much more. Like, what do you have? What advice do you have? Just anything in general, just a broad advice to give women or anyone right
Uh-huh. Well, I'd say go to Robin's site and check out how she can help. And also go to my site. Yeah, jennalotus.com.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I think we're going to definitely collaborate a little bit more and try to come up with some type of workshop as well.
Yeah.
Um, to just kind of help. You know what I mean? We gotta think more and more about that, what we're gonna
Yeah.
come up with. And it's definitely gonna be in the works, but we're gonna come up with something because I can feel it. I can feel that energy.
Yes.
So I'm excited about that. But
Yes,
that's
me
all that
too.
I
Yeah,
do you
I
have anything
feel the
else?
synergy between us. Sorry,
I
sorry.
do too. No, I really do. I really, really do. And it's
Uh-huh.
just like, okay, something has to come of this because I definitely feel like something needs to happen here.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, I'm so
Thank you
excited.
so much. I am too. Do you have anything else to add?
Um, Actually, I wanted to know about your spiritual journey, but I don't know if you have enough time
Yeah,
to.
I do.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah.
So, in my journey, I never was asked this question before. So, um, mine it was always hard for me, especially my childhood. My childhood was very rough,
Mm,
but as I got older in adulthood, it was always difficult, and especially at this last position that I was at, I had a lot of turmoil there. I was, being bullied even in adulthood.
mm,
Um, I was involved in a sexual harassment case,
mm,
and they blamed me, and that really took its toll on me mentally.
mm,
Excuse me. And then I was involved in a relationship where he was in the military, um, and I think we were together for like 2.5, 3 years, and I got really sick. I had, problems with my kidneys. We had a death in the family, and he told me when I was in the hospital. I was in the hospital for like 5 or 6 days by myself,
mm,
especially because of COVID. But he told me that he was still in Afghanistan when he was actually here. And
mm,
when I found out, that just really devastated. Like, it was just things on top of things on top of things on top of things. And that's kind of when I was so broken. It just it broke my heart in pieces to the point where I actually was begging for my life because I didn't want to die of a broken heart. Like, it felt like it was so agonizing. I could just feel my heart breaking. And that was the moment when I felt God's presence around me, like, and it stopped it instantly. And then I moved into the spiritual journey, and he told me to sell my house. I sold my house. Then I moved to an apartment in January of this year. Then in February, the apartments burned down. So then I had to move again. I mean, it was just like all these transitions, all this turmoil over and over and over again. But I realized that it's like positive reinforcement. Like if you have a headache or something, you take something to eliminate the pain, right? To take that pain away. I feel like that's why we suffer. We go through so many hard times is because he's adding on, piling on all this turmoil to get rid of your ego, right? To break you away from all those old beliefs and that ego death technically.
Mhm.
And that's what it took for me because I was in that state of mind of thinking like you, where it's like, this is it. This is the end. My life is over. Like, I can't do this. I'm just ready to quit. I'm over it. I don't want to do this anymore.
Mhm.
And I had to really, really get rid of that. And that's what made me start getting into more life coaching and realizing that through my experiences, I feel like my purpose was born through my adversity because I was able to through poetic podcasts that I do. I'm
Oh,
able to have the music and this to kind of resonate with people more because it tells a story. It tells a story of what I'm feeling, what I had to go through, and what I still sometimes go through currently on certain days, just depending on what day it is, because we're
mhm.
human.
Yeah.
But because nothing about healing is linear, right? Like you're gonna have up days, down days. It's not gonna be linear at all
Yeah.
by any means. But
Mhm.
I have definitely healed. Like no one's ever gonna be fully healed, but I have healed tremendously to the point where now I know I'm in alignment and I know not to allow certain energies to move me out of that alignment. I know how to keep my default vibration. And that was the hardest thing for me to get together because of the borders that we put up. When you have faith and trust, they're without borders. But when you have fear, there's still borders. There's still limitations that you believe in. So sorry, I know that answer was kind of long, but that's kind of what kicked off my spiritual journey and this awakening and where it has me today. So yeah.
Yeah, no, no, it wasn't long at all. Like, I loved everything that you said and like the little like lessons that you also sprinkled in. Like, that was
Yeah.
great. Thank you for sharing that. I was curious. I was like, I want to know.
Yeah. Yeah, because like with that positive reinforcement, I use that honestly with my children because when you take things away from them, it's like, okay, they'll be upset or whatever, but they're just like, okay, and I know in 3 days I get this back. But like for my daughter, because she's a teenager, so if I say, hey, you have to clean up your brother's room and do this and do the dishes, and I'm adding on, she's less likely to have that happen again because she's like, okay, I'm done. I don't want to do this anymore. I'm not going to be doing my little brother stuff. Like, so
Oh.
that positive reinforcement really works. And I'm like, okay, God, this makes so much sense. Now I see why you do it to me.
Wait,
Yeah.
positive. Oh, am I doing it to you? Oh no. So when you said that, I was like, oh, am I your child now? Like,
No,
I thought I was the child in this scenario.
no. I was just
No,
saying
no, no. I would be
that's
happy
how
to
I
be
look
your
at
child, like, honestly.
it. No, but that's how you get results. And that's what I'm like, that's what happens when we're going through this turmoil. It's like it keeps getting added on because history is not supposed to repeat itself, even though they say, oh, history keeps repeating itself. But it's not. You're going to keep going through the same situations, same relationships. Like even if you're dealing with a narcissist, you're going to meet another one just with a different face, and you're going to keep that cycle going until you change. So anything that's repeating, it's telling you, hey, you need to stop repeating this because there needs to be some type of change. Otherwise, it is going to keep repeating.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Everything you say, like, it's just I just could listen to you, like, all day.
Oh,
So
I love
funny.
that. I'm always happy to help. Definitely. You can always reach out to me. Definitely.
Uh-huh. Yeah, yeah.
Thank you so much for coming on, Jenna.
Thank you so much for having me. Honestly, it feels like we're just two friends just, like,
Yes.
chilling. Doesn't doesn't even feel like a podcast at this point.
I know, exactly. That's why we are going to set this up where we have these meetings.
Yes.
We're going to do this when we get off of this right
Yes,
now.
let's do it.
But that is it, everyone. Again, I'm Robin Black. This is Jenna Lee. If you guys need to reach her, you can reach her at what's your website again?
JennaLotus.com. Yeah.
All right. Thank you guys so much, and everyone stay blessed.
Stay blessed.